What you saying, ladies and gents? It is your boy Burak Sam. We're back again today for another video. Today we're going to be going through every single nation in the Euros 2020 and I'm going to be telling you, in my opinion, who is the best player from every nation. So let's roll that intro. So now on to the first nation. We are going to be looking at Italy. And Italy was an easy one for me. It is the 24-year-old central midfielder, Nicolò Barella. Barella has been absolutely unreal for Inter Milan this season and helped lift the trophy for the Serie A. Absolutely unreal. The 24-year-old got 10 goal contributions from the central midfield. But not only that, it's what he does for the team off and on the ball. He plays in what is called the mezzala role. This is... Okay guys, so this is a 3 central midfielder and he plays on the right hand side and operates just in that right hand third, and he links up with the right winger who will be Chiesa in this side, and I think he will be integral. Him and Chiesa together will be an absolutely unreal, unstoppable force going down that right and getting the balls in to the likes of Belotti and Immobile. But I'm telling you now, this guy will get assists and goals. We've seen it all season. He's fast, he's mobile, and he's very good defensively considering how small he is. But I love him. He's a complete midfielder, so he's one guy who I definitely think is the best player for Italy, and one player you should all watch out for, because Italy, in my opinion, will go far and he will be the main man. Let's go on to the next nation, Switzerland, and this will shock a lot of you, but in my opinion, the best player in this squad, and it's purely because of the system they play, it is Granit Xhaka. Granit Xhaka, the most experienced Swiss player in the side, the captain, is integral to Swiss's attacking play. He plays as a holding midfielder and he's very composed on the ball, obviously breaks up play, and he acts as kind of an anchor to that midfield and really protects that back four, and he will be huge in their group for this Euro group stage, because they've got quite a tough group, but they've got fullbacks who love to bomb on. So Granit Xhaka, when he sits in that centre, has a lot of pressure on him, and to be honest, when he usually plays there, he usually performs. Yes, I know he's had a lot of problems with Arsenal and potentially will be leaving to join Roma with Jose Mourinho. Who knows? But I think he will be the best player in this tournament just purely for what he does in the centre of the midfield and breaks up the play and just plays it simple and allows the players like Embolo and Shaqiri to really bomb on and have that free-flowing football that Swiss side could have. Turkey, and if you guys watched my channel before, it is one player, and you should all know this if you watch my channel, it is the 35-year-old striker who I absolutely love. It is Yılmaz, the captain of the Turkey side, and I think he'll be integral to this team because they're going to lack goals and they're not going to create many chances in this group, in my opinion, so he will be integral to take those few chances that they get, as we've seen this season and we have all through his career when he's played at Besiktas, Galatasaray, and now at Lille, where he helped the team lift the Liga 1 trophy. Who would have thought it? He was absolutely unreal, scoring 16 goals this season, and I think he'll get a few here. So Yılmaz is my favourite, and in my opinion, the best player in this Turkish national side. So let's get on to the next one. Wales, and to be honest, I think we all know who I'm going to pick here. I only wrote 2 things on my notes, and that is Gareth, Bale. This guy is Mr. Wales. He literally is Wales. He is the entire squad. The squad is based around him, playing on the right hand side, cutting in on that wand of his left foot with his pace, getting behind, his free kicks, as a lot of England fans will remember against Joe Hart. But this guy is absolutely unreal, and he's done it consistently for so many years now, scoring over 30 goals for Wales in 90 games, and I definitely think he'll bag a few more goals here. Yes, I think they're in a very tough group and I'm not sure they'll get out of it, but if there's one man to help them, it will be Gareth Bale. So watch out guys, add him in your fantasy team. He's a brilliant player to reckon with. Now let's head on to Belgium, and again, if any of you watched my channel before, you will know who I'm going to say here. I believe this guy is one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the world, behind Lewandowski of course. But Lukaku is absolutely unreal. He's played 90 games for Belgium at just the age of 28, yes? 28, and he's scored 60 goals. That goal return is absolutely unreal. The player is unreal, and he has done absolute bits this season for Inter Milan, and the way he plays is absolutely brilliant. A player with such a big build and physique, he can literally play the ball into him, and then he just swivels past any player with the pace, and finishing is unreal. But not only that, he can get in behind because, as I've just said, he's got so much pace. If you were creating a player on FIFA, you would create Romelu Lukaku. Fast, strong, good in the air, brilliant finishing, very skillful. He's the perfect player in my opinion, and he will be huge in this tournament for Belgium if they're going to get many goals, because they could have a potentially a difficult group. It's not the hardest group, but they could stumble, as we've seen in years gone. Belgium do struggle in these kind of competitions, coming third in the World Cup potentially with one of the best squads ever, and I think this is the end of their golden era. So Lukaku, I believe, will step up and will get lots of goals. So add him in your fantasy team because he is the best player in this Belgium side. Now, I know, just one quick second break. Please smash that like button and please subscribe. You don't realise how much it helps. Please subscribe. Let's get back onto the video. Let's go. Come on. On to Denmark. And Denmark have got an extremely, really strong team. And I know a lot of people are saying they could potentially be outsiders to go quite far in the competition. But yes, they've got a lot of players. Schmeichel, Poulsen, a lot of good players. Delaney, Braithwaite. But for me, it is the talisman. One player who, yes, left England last year. And it wasn't too pretty the way he left, but Christian Eriksen, in my opinion, is by far the best player in this Denmark squad. And yes, he struggled for form at Inter, but as the season went on, he did start to get better and did start to improve. But he's one player who creates so much for the side and has created chances wherever he's been. Yes, I know a lot of English and a lot of Tottenham fans will still resent this, but he's still a very good player and we can't look past that. And he really helps the Denmark side create chances because he is the only creative player in that squad because Thomas Delaney behind him and Højbjerg aren't going to be creating chances. So them two sitting will allow him to go forward and have the freedom and create lots of chances for Braithwaite up top. And I think potentially he could get a lot of assists and could again be a good player in your fantasy team. But he's by far the best player, and I know a lot of Tottenham fans will hate me for that. But honestly, you can't look past it. He's just a brilliant player. And I really do worry for Finland. The depth of their squad isn't great. And yes, there are a couple of good players like Kamara and Jensen from Augsburg. But my favourite player in this squad, and yes, a lot of people just say, oh, you're only picking players who played in England. But this guy is a goal merchant. The 31-year-old has got over 90 caps for Finland, scoring 30 plus goals. It is Teemu Pukki, and he will be integral to this side because we'll remember at Norwich in the season where they went down, he did bag a lot of goals and he did really help, and he just feeds off scraps. In that Norwich side, they didn't create much and they never really had the ball, and the moments they did, he would take his chances. And I think that'll be like Finland. Finland won't really create much, and when he does get his chances, I do think Teemu Pukki is one of those strikers who will take the very few chances he gets. So he's one player definitely I think is the best by far in that squad, and one player to look out for. To Russia, and it's not looking great for the national side, a really aging side, but there's one player who's a 24-year-old who's played 36 times for the nation and scored 5 goals. It is Aleksandr Golovin. He's a brilliant player who has been outstanding at Monaco. Yes, he only played 21 times this season, but got 14 goal contributions. I can't do my maths right. 9 goals and 5 assists, which makes 14, not 16. 14 goal contributions in that time. And what is brilliant about him, he plays in the midfield, can play anywhere across the midfield or behind the striker, can potentially sometimes even play a false 9. But what is brilliant, he's naturally extremely fast on the ball, great feet, makes a lot of key passes. But what is brilliant is the way he drives the team up the pitch with the ball and off the ball with his runs. And he's one player who definitely will be a standout player for Russia, and could be again another one. I know I've said it all the time, could be a good player to get a few goals and a few assists in your fantasy team. Now on to Austria, and Austria again are blessed with a good side. We've got Dragovic, Hinteregger, David Alaba, but there's one player for me who is just slightly better than David Alaba, and he's one player who I think is a bit more of a left field shout. Yes, he still is well known, but a lot of people would go for David Alaba. But I think Sabitzer is huge for this team. He's been absolutely real again for Leipzig and keeps getting linked with moves away to Barcelona, PSG, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, basically just everywhere. And there's a reason why. The 27-year-old is absolutely brilliant from the central midfield. He can play as a holding midfielder, he can play further on the pitch, and we've all seen some of his sensational strikes. He gets a lot of goals, but most importantly, his technical play on and off the ball is absolutely unreal, and he moves the ball fast and helps that team drive up the pitch, and really is just absolutely unreal. An all-round great player, and one of the players I think is one of the best midfields in the entire Euros. So watch out for him. He'll get quite a few goals and definitely will create a lot of chances for strikers like Arnautovic. So overall, by far the best player for Austria. Netherlands squad, and honestly there are so many players in this squad that everyone knows and they're absolutely brilliant. De Ligt, Wijnaldum, Van Aanholt, Depay. There are so many players I could go through. Dumfries, and I'll probably just keep listing them as I'm going. Krul. Honestly, I could go on forever. Sketlenberg, and I'm not going to keep boring you. De Roon. I could see there are so many good players in this side, but there is one player that I think stands out from the rest it is going to be Frankie de Jong. And the reason for this is going to be playing in Frank de Boer's system. And Frank de Boer always plays a 4-3-3 formation. With the three midfielders, he'll probably play Martin de Roon as a screen for the defence, and then Wijnaldum and Frankie de Jong. But Frankie de Jong has got more of a creative style under Frank de Boer, and he lets him just kind of do what he wants as a free roll across the full length of the pitch, and he will just get on the ball constantly, and he will create things, keep the ball moving, keep the game just ticking over, and he will dictate the speed of the game, the tempo and the style that Netherlands will play. And I definitely think he'll get a couple of goals and a few assists, because we've seen that for Barcelona this season. He's finally got those goals that we all thought, yes, he's a brilliant player, but he just needs to get a few more goals, and he started doing that and creating more chances. So overall, he is by far the best player in that team. But honestly, there are some honourable mentions in that team. I'm not forgetting Depay and Wijnaldum, who too as well will be absolutely brilliant. But Frank de Jong will be huge in this side, and Frank de Boer's chance, and they could progress quite far in this cup. Who knows? But yes, by far the best player. Now on to my favourite team, other than obviously England, my team that I'm going to be supporting, the proper underdogs, North Macedonia. I'm so happy they got into this competition, and I just love them. They're going to be the team I'm rooting for in this group. I cannot wait. I don't think they're going to go far, to be honest, but who knows, it could provide an upset. There are two honourable mentions. Obviously, Alioski. Everyone knows a lot about him, but there is one player that stands out for me. He's a North Macedonian captain. It is Goran Pandev, the 37-year-old striker, played for Inter Milan, but currently is at Genoa and got 10 goal contributions at the age of 37 in the Serie A. Absolutely unreal. Not only that, he is currently the all-time leading scorer for North Macedonia, scoring 37 goals in 120 games. And he's a brilliant striker. He's a proper goal merchant, and he will get on the end of anything. And for his age to still be playing at such a high level, I'm all for it, and I'm rooting him. I hope he gets loads of goals in this competition, so watch out for him. He's by far the best player in the North Macedonia squad. Now on to Shevchenko's men, Ukraine. And there is one player who stands out by far. It is the Manchester City left-back, Zinchenko. Zinchenko is an unreal player, and not only that, yes, he's a left back for Man City, but he plays for Ukraine and he's the captain in his actual position. He plays central midfield, either as a midfield four or behind the striker, and he's honestly, absolutely, he's brilliant on the ball. His precise passing and his movement is unreal. He gets the ball moving, helps the side move on up the pitch and helps them drive forward. And not only that, with his defensive side for Man City, playing left back, obviously he takes that into this position and he wins the ball back so often. He's integral to that part. Not only that, he's a massive leader for the side. So let's wait and see if Ukraine can do anything, but Zinchenko will be the main man for them, so watch out for him. Croatia, and he's definitely an aging side. You've got Dejan Lovren, Vida, Vlasic, Perisic, Kramaric. There are so many good players, but there's one player who is definitely aging. He's now 35, but he's still playing as captain of Real Madrid at the moment, with Sergio Ramos being out, and he's the captain of his national side. He's been playing now for Croatia for over a decade, and that just shows you just how brilliant a player he is. Luka Modrić is definitely one of the best midfielders in this competition, and he's unreal defensively and going forward. And when he plays, he controls the tempo of the game. When he's playing, you can see he just stamps his authority on the entire game instantly. And we saw that in 2018 in the World Cup against England. It was his game. He controlled the game, and I think he still will do, even though he's 35. Yes, he still doesn't have the motor he does, but he still has got a good engine, and he can run around the full pitch all night long, to be honest. So he's definitely by far the best player, and you will have to watch out for him again at this Euros. And sadly, I think it will be his last big competition. So let's all just take a moment and just give him a round of applause, because he's an unreal player and has had an unreal career. Let's go on to the next one. Czech Republic, who have got Thomas Kalas, as a lot of you people will know, from Bristol City. They've got Soufal, obviously from West Ham. And if a year ago you'd asked me this, I would have said it had been Patrick Schick from Bayer Leverkusen, an unreal striker. But after this guy's last year, he's definitely got to be by far the best player. It is Thomas Souček. The guy has been absolutely unreal. And when he plays for West Ham and for his nation, he covers every single inch and every single blade of grass on the pitch, and he wins every header and literally plays with heart on his sleeve. And you can see the amount of effort he puts into. He flies into every challenge, goes in with every header, with everything he can. And overall, I think he's a brilliant centre mid, a very good leader, and will be integral to that midfield, playing up against Scotland and England and Croatia in that tough group. And I think he will get a few goals, guys. So again, a good choice for you fantasy. But overall, I just think he edges it as Czech Republic's best player. On to England, and to be honest, I think this is a pretty easy one to say. A lot of people will know by far, who is the best player? I know a lot of people are saying look out for Foden, Sancho, Mount, all of these players who are brilliant. Yes, a lot of good young talent coming through. But it is definitely by far the best player in this squad is a 27-year-old striker, Harry Kane. He scored 34 goals in 54 games for England, and he was a Golden Boot winner in the last big competition in the World Cup back in 2018, and he will be huge for England. He will be captaining the side, leading the side, and he will be huge for the team. Will bag so many goals in this group against the likes of Scotland, Czech Republic and Croatia, and we all know his ability. He can create and he can score. When he comes deeper, he sprays the ball like it's just absolutely nothing. And then when he goes in behind, he just finishes every chance he gets. He's an all-round striker. If he had a bit more pace, he would be the perfect striker. But he'll have to do. He's a very good striker. I'm not complaining. So Harry Kane is by far the best player in that England squad. Now we are going to head over to Scotland. Now I did predict in my last video Scotland would come second. I'm expecting big things from Scotland in this competition and especially in this group. I think overall they've got a well-balanced side with two strikers in Che Adams and Lyndon Dykes who will work perfectly together. But anyway, I'm not talking about Scotland here. I am now going to talk about, I'm going to say one player, but really I mean two. I'm going to say the left backs that are kind of, I'm trying to get away with it. I cannot decide between Andy Robertson and Kieran Tierney because they both play on the left-hand side. One will play as a left back and one will play as a left central back. And literally the two of them will be switching throughout the game. So my best player, I'm saying, is the Scotland left back, who is Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson. I'm sorry, I know it's a cop-out, but the two of them are both just unreal. And they're whipping in so many balls to the likes of Lyndon Dykes and Che Adams, or even pullbacks to people like McTominay and McGinn on the edge of the box. They'll be creating so much for Scotland and will be integral if Scotland can get out this group. But I'm expecting them to, and I think these two will be the biggest players for them. So let's get on to the next squad. On to Poland. If you disagree with this opinion, go look at yourself in the mirror. Go walk up to the mirror and go, I am a mug, okay? Do that, because if you disagree, you are a mug, okay? It is Robert Lewandowski. It is Mr. Poland, the greatest striker in world football right now, and there is no discussion about it. This guy played 29 games and scored 41 goals in the Bundesliga, the most in the Bundesliga history in one season, and he did it in 29 games. Not only that, he got 7 assists, had 48 goal contributions in 29 games. Undeniably the best striker in world football right now. This guy can do anything. And one thing, his right foot is literally like gold. Anything that comes off that right foot is going in the back of the net, and he will get goals. Even though we've just seen with Poland as they struggled 2-2 against Iceland, they don't create many chances, but when he's on the pitch, he will score. He will take any, even if it's a half, even if it's a quarter of a chance, he will take it. This guy will score goals. He is by far the best player in the Poland squad, and if you disagree, as I said, you're a mug. On to Slovakia, it has got to be Milan Skriniar. And to be honest, there aren't many players in the Slovakia squad that many people may have heard of. And not even that, I don't think the standard of this Slovakia team is that good. And yes, Milan Skriniar, he's a good player. He's very good on the ball. But his problem is he's extremely slow. And he'll be found out by a lot of teams in this competition. And I don't think Slovakia are going to get out of the group. Yes, Skriniar is very good on the ball. He's very good in every challenge. And as we've seen, as I did just mention, but passing out the back, he is brilliant. But there aren't many players in the side that can do that with him. So he's a good player in a bad bunch, in my opinion. So I think we just need to swiftly move on to the next one. To Spain. And yes, Spain in the past have won lots of Euros and World Cups, especially in my time. We've seen some brilliant players, but those players now are gone, and it's now time for the future. And yes, you heard me. There are two players here that I really want to focus on. Yes, Pedri is a brilliant player, but he didn't just about make it. I think potentially in years to come, he will definitely be 100% the best player in the squad. But I'm going for a bit of a left field answer. I'm going to say Dani Olmo, the central attacking midfielder who can play on the left or the right, just anywhere going forward. He's brilliant on the ball. He's lightning fast. And the way he moves the ball is absolutely brilliant. It's like the ball literally is glued to his foot. He can change direction. His agility is unreal. And as I've said, he's just dynamic. It's brilliant watching him play. Got 5 goals and 9 assists for RB Leipzig this season in Bundesliga. Pretty good season, and he will really be good for that Spain squad. He'll help keep the momentum going, and especially going forward, he will add a lot of attacking threat. And overall, I would 100% he will be the best player in that squad. And Ferran Torres will be a good player, but I do think Dani Olmo has got the quality, and we've seen it all season. He's been consistently at the top of his game, and he'll carry that on into the Euros. So he is my best player in my opinion. I know it's a left field answer, but it's got to be for me. To Sweden, there's been one standout player for me, and I think this guy will take his form from La Liga at Real Sociedad. It is Aleksandr Isak. This season he's played 34 games and scored 17 goals. From a 19-year-old, that's a very good return at 1 goal in every 2 games. Absolutely unreal. And yes, he's just under 6'3", and a lot of people think he's just a big lump and lock it forward to him, but no, he's brilliant on the ball, he's fast, and not only that, he really is a clinical finisher. Honestly, it's brilliant to watch, and he could be one of those players that's proper brilliant, and I mean unreal. He could light up this tournament and be one of those players who literally gets a few chances, because he's like Sweden are like a lot of the nations I've spoken about, where they're not going to create many chances. Like I said earlier with Finland, with Pukki, Isak may potentially only get a couple of chances throughout the tournament and each game, and I think he genuinely will take those chances, and he will get that big money move, because he's been linked with Arsenal and quite a few other big clubs across Europe. So who knows, this could be his time. But by far for me, he will be the standout player for Sweden, and one of those players that everyone should whack in their fancy team. You heard it right here. It's Isak for me. France, I only wrote 2 words down on my notes here. Kylian Mbappe. This guy is unreal. We've seen him line up the league in... Now on to France. I only wrote 2 words down on my notes here. It is Kylian Mbappe. The player is unstoppable. I have never seen a player sprint with the ball and be able to cut back, turn with such speed and agility, and he can literally stop and start, and the pace is unreal. Defenders can't defend, and he's got a great finish on him. He's both footed. It's brilliant to watch. So skillful. It's like he glides across the pitch, and I could talk about him all day. He's played 31 games this season in the Ligue 1 and got 34 goal contributions. Absolutely unreal, and he's already scored 16 goals in 42 games for France. And he will add to that. He's won a World Cup, and potentially he could win a Euros here. France are one of the big favourites in this competition. I don't think they will win it personally, but go check out my predictions video. You'll see where I said about them. But Kylian Mbappe, by far for me, one of the best players in this competition. Definitely best for France. Could potentially be one of the best players in the world. Who knows? Let me know, guys, what you think. But let's get on to the next one. Now let's head over to Germany. Germany for me was really easy. A lot of people said Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Gnabry, Sane. But there's one player here. Neuer, maybe, who knows. But for me, it has got to be Joshua Kimmich. The best midfielder right now. The best central box-to-box midfielder in the world. This guy is undeniably unreal. To watch him play is just, it's an honour. The way he moves, the way he plays it forward, the way he defends, the progressive football he is involved in is unreal. And a lot of people said in the past, he doesn't do enough going forward. Well, this season, after Thiago left Bayern, he stepped up to the plate. I tell you now, he stepped up. He played 27 games and got 14 goal contributions from central midfield, and even sometimes he's playing as a holding midfielder. He is literally, he's in the centre of that Bayern machine. And he was unreal this season. I tell you now, he's going to take that form into Germany and they are building a team around him. The way he moves the ball is unreal. By far the best player in the German side. On to Hungary, and to be honest, not many people are talking about them because they are in that group of death. But I'm going to give them a bit of love here. I would have said Szoboszlai before this tournament started, the RB Leipzig player, but sadly, the 20-year-old will be injured for the Euros. That's a huge miss for them. But I think it will be the goalkeeper, Gulaski. And he's been absolutely unreal in the Bundesliga for RB Leipzig, getting 15 clean sheets. And not only that, everyone saw him in the Champions League. He helped RB Leipzig. Even the season before last, he was absolutely unreal. And I tell you now, in this Group F, with the teams they're playing, Germany, France and Portugal, that goal will be getting peppered, and Gulaski will have to be on form. And I tell you now, he's a brilliant keeper, so he will be. Let's go on to the next team. And now on to the final country of this video is Portugal, and we all know who I'm going to say. It is Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, 33 games this season for Juventus, 29 goals and 3 assists. This guy carries his nation, he has done for a long time. But for the first time in quite a few years, he has got a really good squad around him. A lot of good young players coming up through who could look up to Ronaldo. And potentially, this could be one of their years. Yes, a lot of people are tipping them to be outsiders. I don't think they'll do that well in the tournament because I don't think they've got good enough defence. But that's besides the point. Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't think I really need to discuss it. We all know why he's so brilliant. So he is by far the best player at Portugal. An absolutely huge thank you for watching, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe for more Euro content that'll be out in your face all the time. So keep an eye out and watch because it's coming soon. Black Cat Sam over and out. Thank you. Goodbye.